Thank you. And you like this venue and like, have you faced any issues to reach travel here? Great. Okay, so first of all, thank you for joining us on this weekend. And like this time, like we are coming together with a Montreal group, and we'll talk about like the different topics like MuleSoft integrations and hyperautomations type of the community. So today we are going to discuss about like introductions about the group and the MuleSoft integrations with the DocuSign, which will be presented by Shubham and Priya. After it, we'll have another session, becoming MuleSoft Hyper Automation Expert by Gaurav Khetarpal sir. And then there will be a fun activity. Then Thrive with the MuleSoft Community by Smith Kaur and Shubham Kalsi. And then quiz and ending notes. And then after that, we'll wrap it up with a lunch and networking. So now I would like to invite all the leaders from Jaipur and Montreal MuleSoft Community Group to come here and introduce yourself. So Geetika, Smith, Shubham. Okay, so myself, Yogesh Sharma, you might know me, and I'm a technical architect in Coforge Limited. I'm leading a Salesforce admin group as well as MuleSoft Meetup group. I'm a co-founder of Trailblazers in Campus program as well, and yeah, from last 6 to 7 years, I'm in this community, and I'm having around like 10 years of experience in Salesforce, and last like 1.5 year, I'm working in MuleSoft as well. So this is all about me. Handing over to Geetika.
Hi, welcome all. I am Geetika Mittal. I have almost 5 years of experience all in MuleSoft. I am a lead engineer in Episode. I am currently based out of Pune, but I usually travel to and fro, and I'm working from home from Jaipur only currently. So welcome everyone. Thank you. Hello everyone. Thank you for coming here. My name is Asneet Kaur. I'm working with Simplers. It's an Infosys subsidiary back in Montreal, Canada. I'm here on vacation slash work from home situations. So this is why we have a lab meetup with Jaipur. I've been working with MuleSoft for about 4 or 5 years now, and that's all on my end.
Hello everyone, my name is Shubham Kalsi. I'm a software developer working at a company called Lightspeed, and I'm also a soft meetup leader, as you can see, along with this meet. And we basically host meetups in Montreal. And I've been with MuleSoft since 2019, I guess. I got certified in 2019, and that's pretty much about me. Thank you. Unfortunately, we don't have Sadik with us because he's in Montreal, and he's also a MuleSoft Meetup leader for Montreal. And I guess he has more than 15 years of experience, and he's a solution architect. That's about us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shubham and Smith, for joining us for this meetup. And the good thing is, like, we are doing this in virtual for the Montreal group as well. So we have already doing this live for the Montreal group, and yeah, so this is all about. So
If all of you can also RSVP for the Montreal meetup, it will be great. We'll have more audience. Thank you.
okay, thank you. So you can post on the social channels about this event. Today's hashtag is Jaipur Montreal Mule Meetup, and the hashtag is MuleSoft Meetups. You can tag Jaipur MuleSoft, UK's SMTC, Smith 6 Core, Gaurav Khetarpal, Shubham 1996, Mule Dab, MuleSoft Community. So all the speakers and community leaders you can tag. There will be a social media contact at the end of this event, and we'll choose one like two winners from LinkedIn and two winners from Twitter. So make sure you post and you tag us and use these hashtags. Okay. So without wasting any time, like now I would like to invite Shubham Charasia and Priya Shah for the session. And I would like to thank you for joining us and giving your time for making the presentations and everything ready for this community. And like really would like to thank you for traveling from Delhi and Calcutta for this, especially for this meetup. So big round of applause for you. Thank you.
You want to use the charger?
No, my charge is fine.
This one.
My laptop is here.
Perfect. Audio भी है?
आप अपना स्क्रीनशॉट बंद कर
हाँ.
हेलो
नहीं.
हेलो
Use this one. Okay.
And one more announcement, like there will be a quiz activity at the end of the session. So make sure you keep your attention and participate in the quiz activity as well.
Yeah, so very good morning. So before we start the first topic of today's event, I would like to thank everyone for showing up your presence here. And I also want to thank Jaipur and Montreal Group for organizing this event and giving us this opportunity to present this DocuSign presentation to you all. So as we start, I'd like to first take this opportunity to introduce myself to you all. So hello, my name is Priya Shah and I'm from Kolkata. So I'm currently working with LTI Mindtree as a senior software specialist. And prior to that, I have worked with TCS and Cognizant as well. So it's been almost 5 years I'm working into the integration area, and my expertise basically lies in IBM Stack and MuleSoft. I'm also a MuleSoft mentor and meetup leader of Mysore. I'm a blogger as well. Okay, so along with me, we have speaker Shubham Chaurasia as well. So I don't think he needs an introduction. So everyone might be knowing him. So he's a MuleSoft ambassador, and currently he's working with Bilinium as a integration specialist, and he holds experience of almost 3.5 years. So let's get started with our first topic, integration in Mule. So let's quickly see the agendas for today's topic, and let's see like what we are going to learn about it. So if you see, like, we are going to know like what is DocuSign, and like we'll see what all are its features. Then we are also going to take a look like what all are the REST APIs which are provided by DocuSign, and how with these APIs we can integrate our application easily in the MuleSoft application. And then we are also going to take a tour of DocuSign portal and DocuSign developer portal, and we'll see like what all are the features available, and we will see how we can access those developer portal in web. Okay, and at the end, obviously, like we are going to take a deep dive into the demo session. Okay, to witness how in real time, how the real time scenario we can implement in our MuleSoft Anypoint Studio. And at the end, we are going to have a networking time, and we'll wrap up the session with question and answer. So before we start, like I want to know, so everyone might be like knowing already about DocuSign or have used DocuSign at least once in your career. So anyone from the crowd like can raise your hands who has used DocuSign. Okay, a lot. Okay, and many of you might not have maybe noticed, but you might have used when you come to know about it. Okay, so anyone can tell where they have used a DocuSign?
Correct. So when, like, obviously a good news comes, right? When you receive your offer letter, sometimes the company might ask you to sign your document digitally over the internet. So that is what DocuSign. But it is just not about signing documents. DocuSign is almost everywhere, and we'll see about it. So DocuSign is basically an agreement management portal that allows you to sign your documents, send and maintain your contracts, forms, everything digitally over the internet. Okay, and this DocuSign basically came into the market in the year 2003, and it was started by a company called DocuTouch. So now, like, why this DocuSign came into the market? So you Okay, so we'll see, like, right, why DocuSign came into the market, right? So you might have like already faced challenges, and like how troublesome it is, right, maintaining documents on your own. So to automate everything and to make the process smoother, this DocuSign came into the market. So then earlier days, what used to happen? So whenever you used to receive any document over email, you had to, like, take the print out of your document, you had to sign it manually, and you had to fax the document, right? And sometimes you also had to send the document to a particular address. So all this process used to take a lot of time. In fact, like, when you're dealing with huge bunch of papers, at that time it might be challenging for you to find a particular document instantly, right? And sometimes you also lost, like, that paper which you will need in future. Okay, and when you are dealing with a lot of paperwork, you might miss a placeholder where you had to sign, right? So all these problems got resolved when DocuSign came into the market, and it makes the entire process very smooth, very cost effective, and yeah, entire process got redesigned. So as I was telling earlier, that DocuSign is just not limited to e-signature, right? So its use cases is almost in every sector. So if you'll see this particular slides, so DocuSign has been adopted in so many places in the market. So it is being used in sales department, HR, finance, IT, legal, marketing, right? So its use case is very fast, and you might be thinking whether this electronic signed document will be legally accepted or not, right? So yeah, this particular electronically signed document is legally acceptable everywhere, and it is being used in almost every sector. So as we move, first, let's take a look of this e-signature terminology, which we are going to see a lot in this presentation, right? So first, quickly understand the difference between envelope and documents. So this envelope is basically a container which holds your documents. So your documents can be of any format, doc, PDF, etc. And inside an envelope, you can contain one or multiple documents. So recipient is a tag, right? So where you will basically specify, like, this envelope sent to needs to be sent to which recipient, and then fields are like placeholder which specifies what actions you have to take on it. Okay. So whenever you create an envelope, right? So, and suppose, for an example, offer letter, and you want to make use of that offer letter for different job roles. So instead of creating envelope every time, you can create template. Okay, so template is basically a reusable component which allows you to reuse the envelope again and again. Okay, so that is also a very important point. So now let's see, like, what all are the DocuSign APIs and SDKs which are provided, okay, in the market. So first and foremost and very popular, right, e-signature REST API. So, like, it has a lot of capabilities, and it uses, like, standard request, like JSON request and response package only. And other, like, e-signature for Salesforce is also a very popular solution. Okay, and if you want to customize your workflow, right, you can make use of FX toolkit to do that activity. And then, like, Click API is also a very excellent API. So suppose you want to capture the one-click consent, like your privacy, terms and conditions, all those things you can easily use using the Click API. Then, like, if you want to expedite the business process and you want to streamline the digital signature thing, Room, like, you must need to check out the Room API for that. And then ID evidence API is used whenever, like, suppose you have a workflow where you want to capture the ID evidence of a candidate, you can make use of ID evidence to retrieve the status of that stored ID data. The notary API is used for your online notary, and admin API basically used to automate your user management process. And monitor API is used whenever like it sees unauthorized activity being happened. Monitor API can be used, and you can also like automate it to generate alert. Okay, whenever you see any unusual activity. So that is like DocuSign APIs, different types of APIs. So either you can make use of these APIs to integrate with your application, or you can also make use of this corresponding SDKs which are provided. So these SDKs which you see like are present in 6 different languages. So you can make use of this also to integrate your application. So now let's take a tour of this DocuSign portal. Yeah, so this developer.docusign.com is the portal, okay, where you need to create your account. So you'll have to sign up. So I've already signed it and I've already have an account. So if you'll see the API and SDK section of it, right? So you a lot of APIs are already mentioned, which we just saw. So you can make use of it. And if you want to learn more about this APIs, you can go through. So it has a very well presented documentation, which can help you to explore more on this part. Okay. And then we also have a platform 101. So this basically is the documentation part, using which you can see like how you can integrate your API. So it has different sections. You can go through this to get more knowledge about it. Okay, so this is a developer DocuSign portal. So it also has an admin portal. So from where you can get to see is like, okay, developer account. So it also has an admin account. So whatever APIs you are accessing or whatever you are doing, like you can get to see the same through this admin portal as well. So we'll also see like when we will go through the REST APIs, we'll see about this also. So you also have to create an account. So I have created both the account with the same email ID just to keep the sync. Okay. Now, like let's do do the configuration setup of it. Okay, we'll see like how we can access all those REST APIs. So for that, we will have to go to developer DocuSign portal, and there is a tool section. And here you will find the Postman collection. So this DocuSign basically provides a very well Postman collection. Okay, where it has maintained all the APIs in a very well maintained document folder structure. Sorry, can I get water? Yeah, so it has a hello. So you'll see the Postman collection. Okay, so DocuSign has come with a very well documented things. So you can import this Postman collection to access all those APIs. So we are going to do the same here. So step by step, everything is mentioned here. So first, the foremost thing is like you need to have your Postman account already created. Okay, and you need to have this application in your local or in your web. Okay, so let's do the setup together. Okay, we'll see how we can access all those APIs. So first and foremost is like you will have to set up the environment. So let's do that. So we'll first have to click on this. So the moment we click on it, we can see that it is asking for integration key and corresponding secret key. So from where can we get that? So for that, what we'll have to do is in the same portal. Okay, we have this My Apps and Key section. Okay, so to access any API of DocuSign, we first need to create an application. So let's quickly create an application. So for that, like let's log in. Okay. So here is this place where you have to add application. So let's give any application name called my app and click on create app. So the moment you're creating application, right, it will give you the integration key. So let's copy this integration key and we are going to paste it here. Okay, then we are also required to provide the security key. Okay, so let me keep the backup of it in the notepad as well. Okay, so this we have to provide the authentication while creating the application. So mainly there are three type of authentication which are provided by the DocuSign. Okay, so what are the three types? If you want to know about it, you have to go to the DocuSign port, APIs and SDK platform 101. So as I was telling, right, it is well maintained with all the documentation thing. So from here, if you click here, you can see there are three types of authentication which you can make use of. Okay, so first is like, suppose if you are using a single login for all the user in your application, you can make use of JWT grant, or if you want to make use of browser or client to make a request of a web service, or if you like it has a browser server architecture, you can make use of authorization code grant. And if like suppose your application sends request directly from a script running in the browser, then we can make use of single page application. So as you already know, like we are going to make use of Postman to trigger the APIs. We are going to make use of authorization code grant here. So let's go there and generate for this authorization code grant, let's generate the secret key and copy it. We'll have to give it here. Okay, and click on create environment. So it will set up your environment and it will have all the environment variables which you can access. Okay, close it. Now let's also finish and create this application. Okay, so as this application is used to authenticate, right, to authenticate yourself, we can also give callback URL. So the moment it successfully authenticates it, it will redirect to this example page. Let's add the URL for that also, redirect URL, and click on finish button. Save it. Yeah. Okay, so your application is ready now. Now let's go ahead and see what is there. So the next step is to run the Postman. Okay, so you can click in run in Postman application and it will fork the collection. So for okay, so if you see, like there are different types of REST APIs, right? So you can import any of it to access its API available. Now let's fork the collection. So as I was telling you, like you need to have your Postman already logged in. Okay, so the moment you are forking the collection, you can see several folders already got created for you. Okay, so we are going to access all those API right now from the Postman. So suppose I want to see the user information. So with what user I have logged in basically to the DocuSign portal, let's see that. So if you'll see, like it already has a lot of variables mentioned. Okay, and it is in unresolved variable state. Why? Because we have to choose the environment which is already provided by the DocuSign. Now if you will click this to get the user information, we will see like we are getting 401 unauthorized, right? Why? Because we are still we have created the application, but there are still few steps which we need to perform. Okay. Yeah, the short. It's done. Mhm. Okay, yeah. So you can see like we triggered user info API, right? But it did not work, right? Because it is saying unauthorized. So just creating application is not something like we just need to do. There's something more we need to configure. So first thing is like we will have to authenticate ourselves to access those APIs. Okay. So as you know, like we are using Postman to hit the APIs, we are going to make use of this authorization code grant authentication method. Okay. So for that, what do we need to do? So this particular basically helps you to generate a token which you can make use to trigger those APIs. Okay. So if you'll see it, it is looking for code from URL variables. Okay. So we need to first create this variable and have to provide this value. Okay. So from where can we get this? So if you'll see, again come back to this documentation. Here for authorization code grant, there is this URL present, which you'll have to trigger to get the code basically to generate the token. So let's copy this. And it has got some several variables, so we will have to provide those parameters accordingly. Okay. So let's go back to the Postman and create this first this variable in our environment, and we will set its value. We will have to go to the environment section. Let's create a variable. Okay. Now we will have to assign its value. So let's also create this URL as well. So here we will have to provide the API key. Okay. This is the placeholder for that. And we will also have to provide the callback URL. So after authenticating successfully, it should redirect to the example callback URL. So the moment we will hit this in our browser, we will be getting this code. This code is useful to generate the token. So the thing is like the code which you are seeing, right? This is only having expiry of 2 minutes. So we cannot make generate this code again and again in every 2 minutes. So what we will do is we will generate the token, and we will with that token only, like we will access our APIs. So this is what it has redirected to. So let's paste this. Now you can see like it is having a very big long code. So let's copy this code. And give it to the Postman. Okay, now our task is done. So when we will go back to the collection and now we will try to access this, it will give you a access token. Now we can make use of this access token to access all the APIs. Now if you will see and again trigger get user info, we should be getting the response. So my account name is with Priya Shah and the email is this and everything, all the details related to the account. In the same way, like if you want to access other APIs provided, right? So we already saw what is envelope and how we can send a particular document to a particular recipient. If you want to achieve the same using the APIs, let's see like how we can do that. So I will give you 2-3 examples. So there is one API called create an envelope. So if you want to trigger that, what we will have to do is like everything is already pre-populated. You just have to assign the particular value. So if you'll see like if you want to send an envelope, so envelope basically contains your documents. That is what we got learned now, right? So we will have to basically provide the document, but that document should be in a base64 format. So in online, you can convert your document very easily, right? In base64. So I've also converted offer letter document in base64. So let's give this. Okay. So we can either hard code the value here or in the environment also we can add that particular thing. So let me create that variable instead of putting that here and provide this base64 value. Now, like, let's see like what all informations are left to be filled. Okay, so if you see like here, we will also have to specify the recipient whom we need to send and document ID. So this document ID is just a unique ID. You can provide anything. Okay, so let me provide. Okay, let me also include it in double quotes and provide the document ID. So it can be anything. Okay, and then your file extension. So my document is in docs. Okay, so I will just give that, and I can also provide document name. So document name I will write as offer letter, and email subject offer, and recipient details. So here you'll have to provide basically the email address whom you want to send. So suppose I want to send it to this particular email address. Okay, and the name would be suppose Varsha. Okay, and then recipient ID. It can be also any unique ID. So I can give any number. And if it is successfully sent, its status should be changed to send. So now click on send button. Okay, so whenever you will send the request, first see like all this value should be automatically resolved. So we already have an environment. Okay, so I just chose that, and let's trigger this. So whenever like you send an envelope, the API basically returns this envelope ID, and this envelope ID is very important because everything about this now you're going to track with this envelope ID itself. So how we can check, like how we can validate whether it has been sent or not. So there are 2-3 ways using which you can check. So one thing is obviously our APIs, which is provided by DocuSign. So if you see get envelope status, okay, here you can see like whether this particular document is being sent or not. So for that we just have to play with the variables, that's it. So here we'll have to provide the envelope ID. Envelope ID is something which we just got just now. If you go to create an envelope, just copy this and provide this value. Okay, and anything else? No. So if you just sent it, okay, let's try once again and see. Yeah, invalid request parameter. Envelope ID. Some issue with the copy pasting. Okay, yeah, so you can see the status as sent. Okay, and the same way if you want to check like to which recipient it is being sent, so you can also do the same. So here you'll have to provide the envelope ID. Let's give it. And what else? Recipient. Okay, let's click on send and see to whom it was being sent. So all the details you can see like to Varsha Shah it has been sent. So you can get all those information through our APIs. Okay, now let see like whether we have received our mail or not. So if I refresh it, I'll see like this is how our DocuSign document basically comes when you send the document. So you can review it. Okay. So here, if you see test document is mentioned. Why? Because whenever you create an application, okay, like it basically you will first have to make 20 successful APIs call, and if that is done, then your application becomes live, and then you will not get the subject line. Okay. So now we will sign the document. So let me show you one more thing. So if you receive the document and want to see from the admin portal also, right, how you can see. So let's go back and just see the admin portal side also how it looks. Developer account. Okay, so once you will click on this URL, so it is asking me to create an account. Okay, so from developer portal also, like you can check the status, like to whom it is being sent and all those information. Now, like let's just sign and see like how our status is getting changed. continue. So just sign it. I'll just put this thing here, and I will choose the sign. Okay, and click on finish. So the moment like you are signing the document, okay, I don't want to send a copy of it. Okay, so the moment you're signing it, we'll check the status. How you'll get to know like what action has already been performed on this particular document. So let's go back and just check the status once again. Get envelope status. Now let's see once again what is the status. And if you will see, it is mentioned as completed. So the action has been already taken and the status has been already updated with the same. Okay, so that is like there are a lot of REST APIs like this which you can explore on it. So like you can also like try from your end and can see like based on your requirements which all API you can trigger. So now we can move ahead and see the demo part of it, just to get more clarification on the DocuSign thing. So I'll just ask Shubham to give the demo part of it. So thank you everyone, and yeah, we will take up the questions once we will finish up with the demo.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. This is just speaker. Okay. So, any questions so far regarding what Priya has like introduced about DocuSign? Any questions? Okay, so we are good. So I am going to show about like how we can configure whatever we did with the like Postman collection, right? With the APIs in the Postman, we can do this. We will be doing like sending requests the same in the AnyPoint platform. Okay, like MuleSoft Studio. Okay, so let me showcase. Okay, so if you see, if you want to replicate like send the request through AnyPoint Studio, right? So how you need to configure the same, okay, like the APIs endpoints. It is sharing. Yeah, I'm sharing the entire screen only. Okay, fine. Okay, so let's say we want to send an envelope using our AnyPoint Studio to someone, right? So how do we configure the same API which we are using in Postman, right? So we were using this. If you go to examples and create an envelope, okay. So let's just say we want to send this request, okay, send envelope to the user through AnyPoint Studio, okay. So we need to call an API, so we need to use an HTTP request, right? So if you see like we need to configure this here in the HTTP request configuration. So this is the host part, okay, we need to provide. So if you go to Postman, you see we have a base URL, okay. So we basically need to configure the same thing in here, okay. And this is the protocol should be HTTPS, okay. Now the endpoint, okay, so this is the /envelopes endpoint. So here we are this means again it's a post request, so this is a create envelope request, right? So this part is account ID and this is the endpoint, okay. Now if we send this request, we will be able to replicate the same, like sending an DocuSign offer or anything like letter to someone. Okay, so if you see the transform message, so here we have to configure the request, right? The body of the payload, which the request requires. Okay, so I'll show that in Postman. The body, again, it will be the same which we were sending in through Postman. Okay, so if I go here, you see this is the endpoint we will call. Okay, so if I go to here, this is the create envelope flow, right? And you can see the endpoint / create envelope. Okay, so you can see this is the endpoint / create envelope, and we are sending the body. Okay, so I think Priya has already explained you all the part. Like this is the document part where we can send multiple documents in an envelope. Okay, and we have to provide a base64 value of that document. Okay, so there are multiple options, right? Either you can send the base64, or you can, using the data v part of Anypoint Studio, you can even convert the document to base64, right? So you will get this value directly using data v transformation. Okay, so this base64 you can generate. For now we are hard coding it, like sending it through Postman only. Okay, and again, the like signers whom you want to send the like document to, so this is the email. Again, you can send it to multiple signers, because you can see this is an array, so here you can send it to multiple persons. Okay, and we have a document ID. So whatever document you are sending, okay, let's just say the user signs it and you want to get the signed document back, right, to store it somewhere for reference, then you need this document ID. Okay, so again, let's just run this application. Okay, just to show it once. As you can see, like I am also using an database. Okay, here insert option. So if you may ask, like why I'm using this, so I'll be showcasing a use case of this. Okay, a small use case where we will make use of this information. Like I'm storing some information like account ID and that document ID. Okay, so we'll make use of that for our use case. Okay, so whenever we send the document, okay, so we get account ID and document ID. So we need that for some for our use case. So that's why we are storing that. Okay, so I'll show you in a bit, like how we are using that information. Okay, so you can see this table. Okay, let me show this table, where I am inserting the information. Okay, so you can see the envelope ID and the document ID. So this information we will be storing and making use of this. Okay, so just there are 2 rows only. Okay, so the application is running. Okay, zoom. Okay, in the database you want to zoom. Okay, this Anypoint Studio. I don't think this will help. I think there is shortcut. This looks good. Okay. So yeah, I think our application is running. Okay, now we will send this request. Okay, so let's just update the document ID to 8. Okay, and we will clear our table. Okay, so that there are no records. Okay, so if you see, our table is clear and we will send this request. Okay, now we are sending this request. So this is the endpoint. Okay, I'm sending this request. Okay, so if you see our application, I mean our request got successful and we got the record in our database. Okay, so if I call this, you can see we are able to store the envelope ID and document ID. So why we are storing this? We will make use of this. Let's say we want to get the document when it is signed. Okay, so we have this API. Like if you want to understand, like we want to get the envelope status. Okay, so we can use this API to get the status. Like if it is signed, then do something. Okay, and again there is another endpoint like get document from envelope. Okay, so here what this endpoint does, like what this basically it gets the document from envelope request. So let's say the user signs. Okay, so like I will show you, like here we receive this request. Okay, see we received the offer letter. Okay, and now I want to sign it. So this is received in 2 minutes ago. Okay, I'll sign it. Here you can see the name of the person whom we are sending their number. Okay, so why I'm showing you this part? Because like I will be sharing this offer letter to the WhatsApp. Okay, without doing anything. Okay, like we are doing integration with WhatsApp as well in this use case. Okay, and you can see there is no sign. Okay, so this document is blank which we sent, right? When we are going to get hit this API, like get document from envelope, we will get the signed document. Okay, like for now it is blank, right? We are signing it and finish. Okay, so this is now a completed offer letter, right? So you have read out all the instructions and now it is complete. Okay, so now let's talk about our use case. Okay, so these three endpoints we already explained, like what these are for. So we are making just use of these three endpoints and creating a use case. Okay, so now this is our use case. So I will explain, and if you have any questions about this use case, you can ask. Okay, right away. So this is a scheduler. Okay, so what we are doing, we are as you can see in our database. Okay, so we are querying this database, okay, in a regular manner. So we are checking like if the document is signed. Okay, if the document is signed, we will fetch that document from that envelope and send this to our WhatsApp. Okay, so have you seen anyone has seen like receiving any document in WhatsApp? So raise your hands if you have seen like getting a document in an WhatsApp. Okay, so you guys have. Okay, so that document which is signed, we will be receiving that in WhatsApp. So this use case is doing that only. Okay, so now I'll just quickly again coming back to the flow, explaining you. Okay, so scheduler, we are running it every minute. You can again fetch make it 24 hours. Now we are selecting like querying our database, like what documents are there, envelope ID and document ID. Okay, so we'll make use of this. And now, so there could be multiple documents, right? Because every time we send the request to someone, like multiple users, right? So we are storing every record. So that's why we are using for each, like iterating each row. Okay, now status checking. So this endpoint is checking the status. So when do we want our offer letter in our WhatsApp? Like when it is signed, right? So status checking is like if you see, we are checking when it is completed. Okay, so yeah, sure. Okay, this is fine. Okay, so you see here, second. Okay, see, we are checking the status based on like if it is completed, right? Priya showed you like when we send normally offer letter, like it is the status is only sent, but when the user completes the signing process, its status gets updated to completed. So then we are only acting our then only our act will flow will act. Okay, so now we are fetching we are getting that document when it is signed. Now we will fetch that document. Okay, Now you see we are storing it in our local, okay, by writing it and then reading it, and then so here we are using some third-party API just to store that PDF. Okay, let's say we have uploaded to cloud, right? There you do not have any storage service, right? So either you can upload it to S3. For now we are using some third-party service instead of S3. Okay, so this is another third-party service which will provide us the temporary location of the API. Okay, I mean the PDF where it has stored. So now at the last stage, you see we are creating a WhatsApp request to send that document to the WhatsApp. Okay, so this is the WhatsApp API we have configured. Okay, you can see. So I mean, have you like guys, anyone did the WhatsApp integration ever? Anyone? Okay, so I'll share you one document, like one blog which I have written, where you can understand like how we need to integrate with WhatsApp. Okay, so this is a pretty big topic. For now we'll just like explain. I'll explain. Okay, so let's just talk about the request. Okay, you can see I am sending it to home. Okay, so you can see this is I am picking from some payload. So can anyone guess where this value will come from? Okay, is it visible? Okay, let me try to maximize it. Okay, I'll use the Notepad Plus. Okay, is it visible now? So this is a something request we are sending to WhatsApp. So you can see here we are sending it to someone too. Okay, to a particular number. So can you guess what value will come here? Okay, like a number will come here definitely, right? So can you guess? I mean, where this value is coming from? Can anyone guess? Yes, correct. So we are basically fetching it from document. So again, if you want to understand how we are fetching it, if I go to flow, okay, you see there is one request, this one, and you can see this endpoint convert to JSON. So if I try to maximize it, just okay. So if you see this basically service is doing what is it is converting the document to JSON, and from there we are picking the number and the name. Okay, so, okay, I'll just quickly this cannot be zoomed if I try to. Do you want to see this endpoint? So okay, basically this is the endpoint. Okay, so now let's just run this application. Okay, quickly. Okay, let me minimize once. Okay, okay. Okay, now I'm running this application, and you will basically see like we'll be able to get that document. Okay, this one which we just signed. Okay, in our WhatsApp. Okay, so now let's run this application. Okay, so I will show you in WhatsApp like how it will come. Okay, so I'm sharing here. don't know, this can be maximized. Okay, so this is how you will receive, like whenever you sign. Okay, so it will check like in the database, if the status is completed, then it will send that WhatsApp request. So you see, we'll be able to fetch that document, signed document, okay, in our WhatsApp only. So if I will open this document, so let me zoom it. Yep. So you can see we were able to receive the document in WhatsApp only. Okay, this is the signed document. You can see the sign here. Okay, this is just the making use of the APIs and creating a use case. It can be anything in your organization. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show. So this is how you can see even the name is like coming dynamically. Okay, so again, this is something you can learn with the use of WhatsApp integration. Okay, and send like send offer letters to WhatsApp. Okay, so any questions? Yep.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Is there a hard cap for the file size or attachment size?
For like where in WhatsApp, in DocuSign?
No, it's a basic question. Like in general, is there a hard cap for envelope size or file size or attachment size?
Yeah, I think there must be. I'm not sure about the number of documents you can send in a single envelope, but otherwise you can send any like number of documents to anyone.
If it's of 500 MB, can I send it?
The size of the documents.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the document size, like how big the document can be, but there has to be a limitation, right?
Or pages per limitation?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you.
Any other question? Okay, we are good, right? Okay.
Yeah, so thank you everyone. So I'm sure like many of you here are from Salesforce, right? So this DocuSign can be very well integrated with Salesforce as well. So you guys can try it out, okay, as it involves a lot of creation of workflow and automation things. So you guys can try. Maybe this knowledge will help you with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Shubham and Priya, for this amazing session. Let's give them a big round of applause again.
Hi everyone, good morning. Good to see a number of people here. So this meetup was actually, I think, conceptualized at Dreamforce when I met uh, both of them, and they actually told me that we will be coming to Delhi and Jaipur in November, and we said you should come here and experience the community. I know it's a smaller gathering than what we usually have, but I think we had limited budget, and Yogesh and I think all of them have done a really good job to actually arrange something. So I'm hoping you will go back from Jaipur with happy memories. This title is a bit misleading. I cannot make you a MuleSoft HyperAutomation expert in 30 minutes. This is actually a session which I did at Dreamforce, one of the sessions which I did at Dreamforce. And it's a good product. There is not enough awareness around MuleSoft RPA, and that is one of the reasons why we are doing these sessions, not just here, like, but across different countries as well. As I said, this was a session at Dreamforce, so you'll see the template is also from Dreamforce. I think most people know me here, but I do want to know people. How many of you are MuleSoft developers here? Okay, I think about 30%-ish. How many of you are Salesforce developer? यही तो problem है. So I think we need to definitely grow the MuleSoft community in Jaipur. There are a lot of companies which actually work on MuleSoft. Um, my company also, we also do some work on MuleSoft. I know several others. Horizontal has a MuleSoft practice. MetaCube has a MuleSoft practice. Wipro has a MuleSoft practice. Any company, any other company which I did not name with a MuleSoft practice? I think Altimetric also has it. Which else? Epicero, not in Jaipur exactly, not in office in Jaipur, but yeah. So the only reason for saying that is you have obviously your friends who are working on MuleSoft. Please do encourage them to join these meetups as well, and they'll definitely get value out of it. So first of all, a thank you. This is a Saturday. Like I was stuck in my son's school for PTM, listening to all the feedback, and I'm sure you also had a lot of things to do. And thank you to Yogesh and to all the organizers for making this happen. This will happen. You will fall off. I'll try my best not to make you sleep. Okay. But the good thing is there is a quiz. If you were paying attention, there are already questions from the last session in the quiz. There are questions from this session in the quiz. And Yogesh, what are you giving away for prizes? Yeah. So if you have attended my session, I usually say MacBook and iPhone. That keeps people awake. किसी दिन इतना बजट मिलेगा, but अभी के लिए टी-शर्ट से काम चलाना पड़ेगा. So that's what we'll do. Okay, so very simple session, as I said, just meant to be an overview of HyperAutomation. If even I were to kind of walk you through the whole journey of how we actually create a bot, deploy it, run it, that will take at least a 3-hour workshop, and we don't have that much time. So what we'll do is we'll talk about HyperAutomation. I'll introduce you to the concept of HyperAutomation. We'll learn a lot more about the MuleSoft HyperAutomation suite, and then we'll talk about like what are the next steps in terms of how you can actually become a HyperAutomation expert. So before I do that, anyone has any idea what is automation or what is HyperAutomation? I would love some answers. If you don't answer, I'll ask more questions, as simple as that. What is HyperAutomation? Anybody? Or what is automation? Yes.
If there are some manual steps, right? Like you are making 5 steps in the morning, the same repeated step.
Yeah.
You can automate these steps.
Absolutely. Name some any automation platforms for me. Anybody. Since you have the mic, you can do it first. Puppeteer, okay. That is more UI automation. Yeah. Anything else? Selenium. Selenium is more automation testing. Somebody said Blue Prism. That is a good answer.
UiPath.
Okay, excellent. UiPath, Blue Prism. I think somebody else. Cumulus CI. Okay, that's again not exactly like an automation platform. That is either some level of UI automation or test automation. But these are good answers. So as I think he mentioned, the idea of hyperautomation is as humans, we are very inefficient. Okay, we make mistakes. We are not slow. If you give us a repetitive task, and if it's not exciting, it is boring, we will make mistakes because we will get bored out of it. So there is a term in technology in general which is called a human in a loop. Does anyone know what a human in a loop is? Sorry, say that one more time. Human interaction, okay. Anybody else with a better answer? Say that again. Review and analysis of machine work. Okay, any other people with human in a loop definition? Okay, so basically human in a loop is, it's actually like, it's basically suggesting that you as a human are doing something which is a loop, which is basically a repeatable process. So a classical example is if you see a clerk in a office, he's basically doing the same thing over and over again. Like that same transaction is happening 10 times, 50 times, 100 times, and it is not really the best use of a human's time. So hyperautomation, the idea is we basically eliminate human in a loop wherever possible. Wherever possible, we replace it with bots, which can actually do it more efficiently, which can reduce the manual errors as well. So again, the idea is to kind of redesign your processes so human intervention is reduced. So hyperautomation, like generative AI, is not a new technology. It's not a new buzzword. it has been around for a long time. Okay, so there are platforms like somebody named UiPath. It's a very old company, Automation Anywhere, some of the others as well, and even before that. So the best part about IT industry is we keep changing the name, so then it becomes a new buzzword, and everybody is very happy with it. Okay, so business process management. Again, there are platforms like which do BPM. Does anyone know any BPM platform, business process management platforms? Visaji, okay, yeah, APN, Visaji, several others. Okay, so those are also automation platforms, because again, those are meant to do the same thing, which is eliminate human in a loops. And then a lot of analytics BI platforms which can actually build reports, optimize that reports, and also email those reports. So again, you do not need a human. And then last one is robotic process automation. So which is what MuleSoft RPA is, and which is also what most of the other hyper automation platforms is. So we will talk about if you look at Salesforce history, like again, Salesforce originated as a CRM. Does anyone know which year was Salesforce formed in? Any answers? 19? Okay, good answer. You know your history. So 99, it started off with a very basic CRM platform. Then about 2002, 2003, they actually introduced Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. Then since then, it's been like a long journey, and they've been adding a lot of products each year. So MuleSoft was acquired, I think, roughly in 2013, 2014, 15 timeframe. So the reason for doing that was Salesforce was a pure CRM platform. It added some ancillary clouds like Sales Cloud, Service Cloud. But the problem was the moment you needed to integrate Salesforce with any other external system, you needed something like an Informatica, Dell, Boomi, any other platform which could basically have Salesforce talk to your external system. So to solve that gap, Salesforce acquired MuleSoft, which is an ESB orchestration layer, originally the Anypoint platform, which still is a very powerful integration platform. But then the core problem remained. Like you still needed to write APIs, you still needed to build code. So if you saw Shubham demonstrated like Anypoint Studio, and then he was showing you how to build endpoints. What Salesforce was missing all the time was a capability to kind of eliminate like these inefficiencies which humans bring in. So again, there was no hyper automation platform. I've been a part of like some projects where we actually had to integrate with an external platform. So it was natural that Salesforce should have a platform of its own. So Salesforce, rather MuleSoft acquired a company called Service Trace. That was the original name of the product. And what it actually does is you have your Salesforce platform, you have your MuleSoft Anypoint platform, then you had Composer. So does anyone know what MuleSoft Composer is? Any ideas? Last row, are you awake? Any ideas what MuleSoft Composer is? Oh, I think that's Shruti. So she definitely knows. Can we get a mic to Shruti? Yeah, usually people who want to sleep hide in the back, but today that's not the case. I think the mic is not working yet.
Hello.
Yes.
So MuleSoft Composer is a low-code tool provided by MuleSoft, and it is having around 32 plus something connectors available already, and we can also use REST APIs. So it is totally a low-code. We can do the integration without writing any single line of code, but still, like we need to configure. It is a flow-like structure. The way we are configuring our Salesforce flow, similarly, we have to configure.
I think Shruti saw my next slide already. So this is exactly what I had on the next slide, but since Shruti covered it. So big round of applause for a wonderful definition. So if you see closely, as I told you, we had Salesforce core platform, and MuleSoft was acquired. We had Anypoint platform, which allowed you to build APIs. Then we had Composer, which basically took away the limitations of Anypoint. Sometimes when you are doing simple integrations, you don't really want to build system APIs, process APIs, experience APIs. You just want connectors which are pre-built, which as Shruti explained. But again, the problem was we still had tasks being done on a manual basis. So this is where the missing piece of the puzzle was in terms of human task automation. And this is where MuleSoft RPA comes in. And obviously the good part is, along with this, you can have an AI platform, which could be within Salesforce platform, which is the Salesforce Einstein platform. Does anyone by any chance know what's the new name for this platform? What is Einstein now called? Sorry? It is not Einstein Copilot. Einstein 1. So at Dreamforce, Salesforce does always every time they rename products. So earlier it was Einstein. Initially it was Salesforce Einstein. It became Einstein GPT. Then GPT was actually a trademark, so there was an infringement, and now it's Einstein 1. And similarly, you have AWS AI ML services. Does anyone know what an AWS AI service is called? A very popular document processing service which AWS offers. You can actually build comprehensive AI flows on AWS as well. Say that again. Strap? No. Lambda is serverless, it is not AI. There are 132 AWS services, एक करके सबका नाम बोल दो. But it is actually something called SageMaker. Okay. So, and then you can also use something like Tableau Analytics. Okay. So let's talk about Composer. Shruti already explained this. You want to do low code integration. You don't want to write code. And again, even if you are a developer, you should not write code unless it is absolutely needed. So what actually happens when you can solve a problem using no code, but you write code? Can anyone tell me that? What will actually happen in few years from then? What do you actually get as a result of that? Say that a little bit louder. Exactly, you accumulate technical debt, which is basically a recipe for disaster. So there is a famous saying, you should not write code for a scenario where you don't need to write code. So MuleSoft RPA, what is it? It is usually used in conjunction with Composer. Basically a set of functions which will actually allow you to do common operations which are normally done by a human. So what does a human normally do? They go into a system, they enter data, they interact with a desktop, they would click on certain application, again, log into an application, enter some data. They would open like emails, download attachments, go into Excel files, do some calculations, drag and drop files and folders. This is all we do to get paid sometimes, okay? So all of this can be done by MuleSoft RPA, and the good part is it is also intelligent in the sense it can use native OCR and IDP capabilities to extract data from documents and images. Does anyone know what IDP is? Similar to OCR. Intelligent document processing. So OCR is basically you are able to actually retrieve information which is actually written on the document by just scanning it. IDP goes actually a step further. So it does not just actually tell you it's text. It will actually read that is written next to first name. So it's probably a person's first name. It has an @ and it is following the regex for email. So it's probably the email. And then the best part, as I said, is that it actually integrates well with no-code platform as well, with Salesforce and MuleSoft as well. So it's something which is a different skill set than being a Salesforce developer or a MuleSoft developer. You will not be building LWC components. You will not be working in Anypoint Code Builder, which is newly released, or Anypoint Studio. What you will be building is bots. Okay. So there are multiple skills that are involved here. So the core idea is, again, as I said, not just MuleSoft RPA, but HyperAutomation in general. So UiPath, Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism. The idea is you actually allow business teams to be able to build out this logic. So rather than have developers write code and build it out, you actually want to enable business teams to be able to do that. So it's a usual process. You evaluate your processes, you design them, you build your processes, and then you test, run, and scale. That's the overall life cycle. So I don't know how many of you can see it in the back, but I'll try and explain it so it's very, very clear. So this would look a little bit intimidating. Does the diagram look a little bit complex? Okay, if that's the case, then this is what is coming next. Okay, so there are some components, as I said, MuleSoft Composer, which basically is all about no-code integration. So a very simple example is I have, let's say, I am a claims provider, or let's say I have some products which I usually sell, and then I have an email ID which is given out to customers. So what customers would do is they would email their orders to me. So they send an attachment in, like, for example, an order form which is filled in, and then I need to basically check that email every few minutes just to see if an order has come in or not. I need to download that order form, I need to read that order form, and then I need to process whatever information is there. Let's say they want to get 2 iPhones and 2 MacBooks because somebody mentioned that. So I will go and enter that into an external system. But what Composer actually allows me to do is I don't need to monitor that email. I'll write a Composer flow which is listening to Gmail. Whenever that email comes in, Composer will pick that. It will actually download the attachment. Using MuleSoft RPA, it can read the order form, and then it can do rest of the steps as well. Okay, so Composer is basically the entry point, which actually allows me to kind of invoke RPA. And the second is RPA has components. So RPA has something called an RPA manager. At any point of time, you will be running multiple bots. We also have an RPA recorder, which is basically how you actually record your bots in terms of when they are doing certain actions. And we have an RPA builder, which is where you're actually building out the RPA bot logic as well. What is it the bot has to do is builder. How it does it, it is basically also called as training the bot, that is RPA recorder. And then how your bot. So for example, I could have 100 bots running, 50 doing something, 10 doing something, 10 doing something else. That is the RPA manager. And then we have Anypoint Exchange, which is similar to Salesforce App Exchange for those of you who come from the Salesforce side, which has a number of things. It has connectors, it has a lot of APIs publicly available, so a lot of information is available on Anypoint Exchange. And then there is Anypoint Studio and Anypoint Platform, which I think was also covered in the previous session. So just to kind of make you understand the bigger picture, on the bottom, you can actually see all the major clouds that Salesforce has. Okay, and again, the idea of showing this is how does the MuleSoft RPA or how does this holistic architecture work with Salesforce. So if you see here, for example, like we have like Flow Builder. The idea is very, very similar. Like for example, in Flow Builder, I would typically have like, let's say I have an order update. Based on the order update, I want to send out an email. If the order has been updated, then what I want to do is I actually want to trigger RPA bot to basically go and do something on the inventory system and then confirm that update. So this is where actually all of this comes in, and this is where it would basically invoke a Composer flow, which would invoke an RPA manager. The problem here is two things. So one thing is RPA Builder and RPA Recorder are Windows only, and unfortunately I do not have a Windows machine at the moment. So what I'll do is I'll show you a recorded video in terms of end-to-end, in terms of how the flow actually works end-to-end. Second is it's still a new product, and I'll be very honest, it is not as stable or as feature-rich as UiPath or automation anywhere, but it's getting there. The biggest advantage of MuleSoft RPA is when you are building a solution using Salesforce and MuleSoft, you don't need to pick an external entity now. So for example, you don't need to go to a UiPath or an automation anywhere, and then that actually simplifies your stack a lot. So now there are three things. You have Anypoint, which was there forever. Now you had also Composer, which was no code, and now you have MuleSoft RPA. So the only reason I bring this up is people get very, very confused when they say I have a MuleSoft project, and when they say it actually involves RPA. It is not, you're not doing integrations, you're not building out APIs, you're actually building out bots, and then you are basically leveraging the RPA platform. Similarly, if you are using Composer, you may still be invoking APIs, but you are actually not writing code in that case. So very, very important to have that distinction in line. And whenever somebody says MuleSoft, you need to understand the three major components or the three major SKUs that MuleSoft offers. Okay, so Composer, as I said, is no code process automation. RPA is human task automation, or eliminating what I called as human in a loop. And then Anypoint is you are building out web services like DocuSign APIs, as demonstrated in the previous session as well. So now let me show you a very, very simple use case. This is an insurance use case. We actually built this application and showed it to Salesforce in the early days of MuleSoft RPA. So what is going to happen in this video, it's a little bit fast because, as I said, just to configure the bots, just to kind of show you, train the bots and do everything, I will need 2-3 hours, which is not feasible. So what this is going to show you is there are claims coming in. Similarly, a claim coming in via email along with a claim form. That claim form has certain details like, so when you are filing an insurance claim, just tell me what all information would you need to send to the insurance company? What all information would you usually send? What all information would you usually send? Speak a bit louder, please, or we can get a mic. Policy number, ID, what else? Tenure. How will they recognize you? कि भगवान claim मांग रहा है या कौन मांग रहा है? Details of the person, right? So So this is what we'll show. So basically the idea here is that there is a person whose name is, I think Lisa, she does claims processing. It's a very very monotonous process. उसके पास दिन में 200 claims आते हैं, उसको same process करना पड़ता है. पहले claim form download करना पड़ता है, उसको पढ़ना पड़ता है, उसके basis पे सारी information निकाल के claim system में जाना पड़ता है, वहाँ check करके update करके फिर Salesforce में आके claim create करना पड़ता है. So very very manual process, very very boring process, and within the next 3-4 minutes I'll actually show you how this can be simplified using MuleSoft RPA. So this is a patient, unfortunately he is sick and he wants to request a claim to Southern Insurance. This is the claim form. इसमें name है, email है, all those details that are there. He emails it to Lisa. So Lisa has just joined this company and she basically needs to go through the full life cycle. So there are a lot of processes involved in this claim, as I said. So all of those steps are written on the left. So she receives a claim email, checks the claim form, logs into Salesforce, creates claim, creates coverages, logs into an external system, policy management, checks eligibility, approves claim. Very, very monotonous and very, very error-prone process as well. Because if एक भी zero इधर उधर हो गया या कुछ गलत हो गया, so that will be a lot of problems. So this is just showing like she's actually going into an external system. And some of the claim system are very very old. So this is like an AS400 system जहाँ सब कुछ CLI से होता था. So 24 years back when I and Uma passed out, we used to work on applications like these. So you are very lucky that you actually work on applications with a lot of UX. So this is actually showing like that claim system where she goes in, looks up Howard Jones, updates her amount here, and then effectively once the claim is settled in this policy in this system, then she actually settles the claim. So on the top you see there is the manual process: receive email, create claim, check eligibility, approve claim, calculate payment, send payment, close claim. Everything here is completely manual. Okay, there is no automation being used. This is very inefficient. What we'll change this to is there will be a MuleSoft Composer flow which will actually receive the email. Then we will use MuleSoft to actually create the claim. So we'll basically capture the claim. It will actually call a claims API. Then we'll also check eligibility. Everything here that you see with M, that's basically using the MuleSoft RPA. Approve claim, this is happening in Salesforce. Calculation of payment happening in Salesforce. Sending payment happening using MuleSoft RPA. And then closing the claim is actually happening on the Salesforce side. So if you see again on the top, everything on the top was a manual process. All the external systems, logging into Salesforce as well was manual. So what is actually happening here is you will see on the left, like I have Howard Jones, he has sent an email. There is an attachment with it. The first step is as soon as I start the bot on the right, it's not started yet. It will download that attachment and put it here on my local computer. So this is like what the RPA builder looks like. This is where we actually design. It's very, very similar to your flow builder as well. So I'm actually starting the bot here. The bot is invoked. Okay. It basically checks the email. It got an email with a claim form. It will download it automatically. So once the email attachment is downloaded, then the HyperAutomation bot will run again. It will actually extract information from that. It will open that PDF and then try to extract information from that PDF. So now that PDF has been opened, I can see clearly what are the details, and this is where IDP comes in. It extracts all the information, calls a claims API, which is built out on the Anypoint platform. A claim record is created. Okay. So this has been created in Salesforce. I can go into Salesforce. I can actually see whether the claim record has been created or not. I can also see like what is the status of the claim, if there are any additional line items that are needed for the claim that are also there. Okay, all of that I can see, and then I can see the claim is in approved state as well. Similarly, what I did not show here is that AS manual system where the best part is your bots can actually go in. You can train your bots, you can record and train your bots to go into any system, and then they can log into those systems and do whatever manipulation or whatever processing is needed. So we basically eliminate all those manual steps that were there in that whole cycle. So let me just go to the next slide. As I said, in an ideal scenario, I would have shown you a full demo, but creating a bot, training a bot, recording it, and it would take a lot of time. So that is not possible. So MuleSoft RPA, once you start learning it, one of your objectives should be doing this certification, which is the MuleSoft HyperAutomation Specialist certification. I don't think a lot of people have done it, and again, the reason for that is not a lot of people initially at least use MuleSoft RPA, but like I was at Dreamforce this year, there was a massive emphasis on MuleSoft RPA and hyperautomation in general, obviously coupled with generative AI. So if you have an automation background or if you're curious, this is a really good certification. There is also a Tailored Academy class that is offered for this. This is ADX 350, and then there is a trail mix for it. So, but you will not be able to pass the exam for sure just by doing the trail mix. You will need a little bit of practice. One of the other problems that you usually face is how do you get access to MuleSoft RPA if you want to try it out, okay? So the solution to that is I think everybody here works for a partner. Each partner has what is called as a partner associate manager or a PAM, or we call it a PAM. Raise a request to them, they are usually able to get you a 1 month free trial of MuleSoft RPA, and then you can request again and get it extended as well. So that's the way to learn MuleSoft RPA. There are a lot of good resources available on Trailhead. There is this MuleSoft Composer trail as well if you want to learn more about Composer. And again, Composer also you can get access and try it out. And there is a MuleSoft RPA community group on Trailblazer community. There is an RPA trail as well, which I definitely recommend you should try it out. And as I said, the intent was not to make you an expert, but I'm hoping if you did not have a automation background, that this was a good overview, and I would definitely encourage you to kind of explore more if you have the interest. I think I have some time for questions. Anyone has any question, anything you want to ask? Yes.
To use IDP services, do we need to take a separate license for?
Yeah, excellent question. So most automation platforms and MuleSoft RPA included, they have some native IDP capabilities built in. So for example, MuleSoft RPA has its own IDP services capabilities built in, but it is not as robust as like a commercial IDP solution. So for example, like AWS IDP, or there is a very popular IDP platform called Abby. It's not as comprehensive, but if you saw the video where it was actually going through that PDF, claims PDF and extracting information, that level of capability it does offer. You can always integrate with external IDP services as well. You can use AWS IDP, you can use Abby or any other IDP platform. That is possible. Okay, any other questions? No, so it basically runs on the RPA manager. RPA manager is basically controlling all your bots. So similar to how like you have any point platform, like there is an RPA runtime which is controlled by RPA manager. That's where all your bots run. Okay, some of these are in the quiz as well. So good questions.
So one question from mine, like how is it different from this idea which we have in Salesforce, intelligent document reader?
So intelligent document reader is just a document processing capability. It is not a bot. So it is something which you can use with Flow Builder, and then you can invoke that. But it is not something that you can train. So for example, bots, the core idea is you train the bots to do certain things, and the more you train them, the better the bots get at doing those things. They can also handle like things like edge cases or like error scenarios in those cases. Intelligent document reader is basically just like similar, like what I showed you. Only the PDF reading part is what is handled by the idea. None of the external things like going into an external system, like entering data there, coming back, entering data into Salesforce, that is not handled by idea. It's purely from a document processing.
My question is more related to the IDP, like how IDP is different to the IDP.
IDPs are much more comprehensive than IDR. So IDR has very, very limited capabilities. Abhi jo maine PDF दिखाई है, that is very simple. But if this was like a PDF जहाँ पे मतलब लोगों ने हाथ से लिखा है, उसको scan करके भेजा है, most of the, like at least the IDR solution for complex PDFs, it will not work. That's where you need like a commercial grade IDP solution.
Do we have to create any external account for that IDP? Because in IDP we usually create account in Amazon.
Yeah, absolutely. So IDP services, those are commercial services. Those are paid, so it is basically transactional. So for each document that you basically read, there is a fee that you have to pay out. So it's all transaction based. Okay, one more question, I think.
How's the landscape looking after like Salesforce has Flow Orchestrator and Flow Builder? Both of them are using the same engine behind the scene. Then again, we the Omni Studio is also kind of going in the same direction with all the automation and this, and then this comes up. So like, how's the landscape at the moment where the direction is going?
Yeah, very interesting question. So there is another aspect to it as well, which I think most of you know. Process builder and workflow rules are set to be deprecated. Okay, so because they are going away, there is a lot of contention in terms of how will the no code capabilities evolve in the platform. So obviously you have flow builder and you, as you rightly called out, flow orchestrator. That is the future as far as the core platform is concerned. Whatever I have shown you, again, this is not a part of the core platform. This will never go into the core platform. But what you actually called out well is Omni Studio. So Omni Studio provides a lot of similar things. It provides Omni scripts, it provides data raptors, integration procedures, BRE as well, business rules engine. From what I understand, they are actually going to integrate that in the core platform. It is more of a long-term thing, it may happen in 2024, 2025. I don't have a definitive timeline of that. But what I know for sure is Omni Studio, they are already calling it Omni Studio on core. When they say core, it means a part of the core platform. But I think for now, Flow and Flow Builder and Flow Orchestrator are the future. And MuleSoft Composer is, as I said, you usually embed MuleSoft Composer as part of Flow, so that's how it integrates. RPA is completely separate. RPA, I don't think will be a part of the core platform at any point of time. The use case is a little bit different. Okay. There's one more question, probably last question.
In case if boot fails, is there any interface or a system?
Yeah, you can have a fallback mechanism. One of the fallback mechanisms, the simplest mechanism is like send an email, inform a service agent that this bot has failed so that manual intervention can be done. You can also program like exponential retries. So for example, a bot failed, you can program it so that there is a exponential retry. So it will try after 1 minute, after 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 8 minutes, that is also possible. And then obviously like RPA manager also has comprehensive logging capabilities. So any errors are logged and then you can also look at it manually. But there are multiple options. You can do manual intervention, as I said, you can do an exponential retry. Those mechanisms are available. Okay. Yeah, lots of good questions and some of them, as I said, are related to what you will see in the quiz. So thank you so much. And yeah, thank you once again for attending.
Thank you so much, Gaurav sir, for the wonderful session. And I think like we have already done my job. Like my job now is like to awake everyone because now we are going to do some fun activity. And I can see like everyone is awake, so let's do some fun activity. So two users can use the same credentials, not more than two. Okay, so everyone got the credentials for the internet? How many of you not received it yet? Gaurav, can you please help? So guys, what is the fun activity now? I hope many of you have already attended a session earlier, right? We'll play the same fun activity. So how many have received it or not? Because the same credentials we have to use at the time of quiz activity. So make sure like you use you log in for that. If you have already connected, please don't disconnect it. Okay, so all. So for the fun activity, you don't require any password. Password and the username you require only for that social media post, and after it you can use the same for the quiz activity. For fun activity, you will not require any network access. Okay, so are we all set? Okay, so now we will see the Mule talent here. We'll play the tongue twister and like who can speak fast 3 times and loud. Okay. So you have to speak 3 times faster and louder. There will be a swags for the like who can speak it correctly.
Hello. A skunk sat on a stump and thung the stump stung, but the stump thung the skunk stung. A skunk sat on a stump and thung the stump stung, but the stump thung the skunk stung. A skunk sat on a stump and thung the stump stung, but the stump thung the skunk stung.
You can try it a bit faster.
Stump and thumb the stump stung, but the stump thumb the skunk stung. A skunk sat on a stump and thumb the stump stung, but the stump thumb the skunk stung. A skunk sat on a stump and thumb the stump stung, but the stump thumb the skunk stung.
I think this one is a bit easy, right? So let's try the one more. Yes. So wanted to try this. Want to try this? Very simple, only 2 lines. And you have to only speak 6.
Six, hicks, nicks, 6, slick, bricks with picks and sticks. 6, hicks, nicks, 6, slick, bricks with picks and sticks. 6, hicks, nick, 6, slick, bricks with picks and sticks.
2 more. Anyone from this side? Anyone from this side? Okay. 6, nick, 6, slick, bricks with picks and sticks. 6, nick, bricks with picks and sticks. 6, hicks, slick with bricks with picks and sticks. So one more. One more nominations. Smith, you want to try? Shubham? Gaurav sir? Yes, Gaurav sir is saying yes. Priya?
6. 6, hicks, nick, 6, slick, bricks with pigs and sticks. 6, hicks, nick, 6, slick, bricks with pigs and sticks. 6, hicks, nick, 6, slick, bricks with pigs and sticks. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So now I would like to invite Shubham and Smith for the next session. Try with the MuleSoft community. So please welcome Shubham and Smith for the next session. Now everyone got the username and password for the network. So please make sure you post about this event and encourage others to join this MuleSoft community in Jaipur.
Let me just share my screen.
Do the entire screen.
No, I'll just do the presentation. Perfect. Hello. Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Gaurav sir asked a very interesting question earlier, and we found out that only 30% of the audience is more inclined towards MuleSoft compared to Salesforce. Today, Shubham and I are going to tell you why you should join the MuleSoft community and how it can help you be a leader and accelerate in your own career. So without further ado, this session is going to be about Thrive in MuleSoft community, and this is going to entail how collaboration can fuel acceleration and why you should be a part of it. But before that, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Asmeet Kaur. I'm a senior developer with Simplist, and I'm a very active member of MuleSoft community.
Hello everyone, I'm Shubham Kalsi, software developer at Lightspeed, and also an active member of this ever-growing MuleSoft community. So for today's session, we're gonna cover the following topics. A lot of people here don't know what MuleSoft is, so we're gonna cover that. What is MuleSoft? Then we're gonna show you guys how you can thrive with MuleSoft community and what is MuleSoft community. After that, we're gonna tell you guys our journey. How did we get a chance to stand here with the help and support of the MuleSoft community? After that, we're gonna showcase some community-driven motivation. And last but not least, how you guys can start your journey with MuleSoft community. So before we jump into what is MuleSoft community, I would like to show what is MuleSoft. So MuleSoft is a leading integration platform, as Gaurav mentioned. It enables a seamless communication across complex digital ecosystems. It has an API-led approach, which helps businesses to unite different systems together. It helps to automate workflows and as well as basically enhance customer experience. MuleSoft has flagship products as well. So for this presentation,
Sorry, just a minute, sorry. So, Control C? No, Control plus. I want to increase
Yeah.
it. No, I want to increase the size. It's not visible. Yeah. Stop showing. Increase the size. Yeah, that's what we're using, but it's giving us small. Okay, now try. It's not showing.
can you guys see the screen? Everything is clear? Is it visible? Perfect. So as I mentioned, MuleSoft has 3 flagship products. The number 1 flagship product is Anypoint Platform, as Gaurav mentioned. It helps you to build, monitor, and create APIs. And after that, we have MuleSoft RPA. RPA, as Gaurav mentioned, again, he covered most of our slides, I would say. RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation, and it enables businesses to eliminate manual tasks. And after that, we have MuleSoft Composer. You can use MuleSoft Composer with your Salesforce organization, and basically with its simple drag and drop functionality, you can build integrations. And now Ismeet will tell you guys what is MuleSoft Community and how you can thrive with MuleSoft Community. Ismeet, stage is yours.
Thank you, Shubham. So MuleSoft Community is one of the largest of its kind, with members across 180 plus meetup groups and 60 plus countries. It empowers developers, architects, and businesses to achieve more together. The community provides an ecosystem of learning. As you're witnessing today, the community hosts several events and opportunities where people can come and share the stage, learn more, network, and communicate. Here, people can come together and share ideas, innovate through collaboration, and network with like-minded people, just like we're doing today. It is a hub for experts, beginners, and everyone alike. And the best part of the MuleSoft community is, unlike other communities, it extends beyond the digital forum. It is a place for real connections. The collective wisdom of the MuleSoft community is very astounding, and we have it's like just having a global tech support at your fingertips. If you are not in a part of MuleSoft community, once you do become a part of MuleSoft community, there are multiple platforms where you can reach out to other MuleSoft, enthusiasts, where you can talk and just ask questions or just network. That's it. So the question is, how do you become a part of MuleSoft community? So how do you get to stand on the stage like us today and host these events, network, and be in the lead? So you can do that by becoming a MuleSoft Meetup leader like Yogesh, Gitika, Shubham, I, and everyone else. So what the MuleSoft leader does is MuleSoft community provides a ladder for all of you to climb your highest potential. And it starts with becoming a MuleSoft leader. MuleSoft leader hosts and organizes events all across the globe. It can be a virtual event, in-person meetup like today, or hybrid events. And then these sessions can range not only from technical tutorials like today, but also business empowerment sessions. So it doesn't have a boundary or where you cannot spill over. It just doesn't have horizon. The next you can become is a MuleSoft mentor, which is sort of a stepping stone to becoming a MuleSoft ambassador. It is very essential that if you wish to become a MuleSoft ambassador, like many others, you need to be a MuleSoft mentor. A MuleSoft mentor participates in community forums and workshops and webinars, and they try to provide an environment to facilitate learning and knowledge sharing. The next is to become a MuleSoft ambassador. MuleSoft ambassadors are essentially people who are recognized by MuleSoft for their exceptional expertise. and they exceptional expertise, and they contribute to such extents that it's just advocacy for MuleSoft community. But the question is, how did we get here?
Yes, I do have a question for you, Smith. How did you get a chance to get involved in MuleSoft community?
So today we'll be sharing a little bit about our journey, just to motivate the rest of you to, start your journey and be a very active member, especially the Salesforce community we have present today, so that they can also be a part of MuleSoft community. It's not a fine line dividing the two communities, it's just very overlapping in nature. So I don't know how about the most of you, but when I started working, I was only able to work a little bit on site, and then pandemic hit. And then it was all work from home. I think and hope that most of you relate to my experience. And even to this day, I am mostly a remote employee. So when you are not in an environment where you can share ideas and collaborate and communicate, what really happens is that you start feeling the isolation and the remoteness. And I was feeling that as well. I did not know whom to approach with my questions. I was new to MuleSoft. I was trying to learn. And then what I did was I was just LinkedIn was the only source of platform where I could connect with like-minded people. And then I saw a post on LinkedIn about somebody becoming a MuleSoft mentor. That really piqued my interest. I did not know what it was, what it entailed. If we even had a MuleSoft community, I did not know that until 2020, I think, or 2020, 2021. But I was already a MuleSoft certified developer. I was working with MuleSoft for almost 2 years, but I had no clue that there were so many resources that I could access and use for my betterment of my journey. Then what I did was I applied naturally, and I became a MuleSoft mentor, and I was able to communicate, link, and network with all these amazing like-minded people that we have today, all of you. And that gave me a platform essentially to hone my skill and become my confident self, to be able to stand on the stage and be able to become a presenter or a speaker.
How did you leverage that opportunity?
So from there on, there was really not looking back. My fellow colleagues at MuleSoft, they gave me a mentorship, official, unofficial, and they told me how I can embark on my journey. I started by becoming a MuleSoft Meetup leader, and then and then I also got selected with the ambassador coaching program. So as I said before, to become a MuleSoft ambassador, you need to be a MuleSoft mentor first, and then you can get selected in the MuleSoft ambassador coaching program. So today I do a lot of things. I write technical blogs. I host MuleSoft meetups. I have a YouTube channel. I have spoken at Dreamforce for the first time this time. And I'm just very, very happy to be a part of this wonderful community, and I encourage all of you to be a part of it. Shubham, I would like to invite you to share your journey with us.
Definitely. As Ismeet mentioned, similar to her experience, my journey started in isolation as well because of pandemic. And I came to know about the MuleSoft community in 2021 by a close friend. The work that MuleSoft community was doing, I was really impressed, and I wanted to be associated with the MuleSoft community. And the process was straightforward, and within no time, I got selected as a MuleSoft mentor, and there was no looking back. When I say MuleSoft gave me wings, MuleSoft community gave me wings, it's no exaggeration. MuleSoft community gave me a platform to showcase my skills as well as my technical acumen in the industry via multiple mediums. So that was my journey with MuleSoft community. Now we speak will showcase how community-driven motivation can actually accelerate an individual's growth.
So MuleSoft Community opens its door through many events that it hosts. It can range from meetups, conferences, workshops, or many more. MuleSoft and the community host a lot of events, and some of them have been TDX. As you're seeing this clip, we had a chance to attend TDX 2023, and then Reinforce. And then we also have MuleSoft World Tours, where you can be a part of it and join, be speakers, be performers, just be that philanthropist that you want to be.
Perfect. And there is also another way to be associated with the MuleSoft community, and that is by joining MuleSoft Meetups. MuleSoft Meetups is like basically community-driven events hosted and organized by MuleSoft enthusiasts. Kudos to Yogesh and Gitika for organizing this meetup today. And basically, it helps people who are not aware of what MuleSoft is to get a chance and a piece of MuleSoft by basically attending multiple events. So one of the major events that we did this year was a Lightspeed event that we hosted. It was at my office in Montreal. And as you can see, it was a very well organized MuleSoft Meetup event. We had a lot of swag as well for the people who were joining, as we have here today as well. So overall, it's a great experience, and I would like you guys to please continue coming to these MuleSoft Meetup events, so that you can get a piece of MuleSoft.
So it was. I would like to add to that this event that we just showed you in Montreal was also the first in-person event like we have today at Jaipur after the pandemic. And these are much more fun compared to virtual activities, because there you do not really make real connections. You here get to meet, leave an impact, and then go back to the connections and just ask all your curiosities. So how does being a part of MuleSoft community unlocks opportunities for all of you today? And that's what we want to emphasize the most on. What do you get out of being a part of MuleSoft community? Why should you put the extra efforts, extra hours, and go the mile beyond? So there are multiple ways, how MuleSoft community helps you unlock opportunities. It can help you build your own brand. So like I said, Shubham and we started, I think, we got deeply involved in MuleSoft community about 1.5 years back. And today we can fairly say that, like Gaurav sir, like Yogesh, like Shubham, like all of these here, we are also on the path of becoming our own brand. We are trying to promote ourselves, not just to learn, but also to be able to contribute to businesses and our individual practices. And you can do so by multiple ways. Become an influencer on LinkedIn or even YouTube. Become a presenter or a performer. You do not really have a limit as to what you can do. Whatever you feel comfortable with. You feel comfortable with sharing technical blogs, just write it out. Just put it out there, even if you feel that it's been written already, it's been done already. It's always a new perspective coming out from each and every individual. It's never the same. When you finish writing, you'll see that you added your own element to that substance, and then now it's something new, something beautiful. You can start with your YouTube channel. You can share your difficulties, your real life integrations, what you're doing, or whatever you feel comfortable with. It can be advanced level, beginner level, it can be anything. Just put it out there. And then you can also submit applications to be part of speakers at events. You can start small by volunteering to speak at meetups. It can be hybrid, in person. It doesn't have to be related to, or uh, limited by your zone. It can be anywhere. You can volunteer to speak at New York Meetup or Princeton Meetup or Toronto Meetup. It doesn't have to be just Jaipur Meetup or Pune Meetup or whatever, wherever you want to speak. Just volunteer. They'll always give you opportunities. We are always looking for good speakers. And then you can also, after becoming speakers, you can start putting in applications, start speaking at Dreamforce, World Tours, TDX. It's just lovely opportunities, and you'll see once you start where you reach.
Everyone is welcome to present at MuleSoft Montreal Meetup.
Yeah,
Sure.
please reach out to us. Okay. Shubham, so can you tell us how we can start our journey with MuleSoft?
Definitely, Smith. But before I do that, can you please
Yeah, sorry.
go to the slide? Yeah. So these are some QR codes for some of the people that are out there presenting about MuleSoft and basically being an advocate about MuleSoft. So in the middle, you guys can see our YouTube channel. It's called Between Two Mules, where we discuss everything and all things MuleSoft. And we have a podcast session as well called Bits That Bind. That is,
Pooja and Jim.
yeah, Pooja and Jim, they do that. And of course, Shravan, who doesn't know Shravan, right? So MuleSoft Tech Zone as well, if you want to get a deeper understanding of what MuleSoft is. And now comes the big question, how you guys can start your journey with MuleSoft. Don't worry guys, we have got you covered. You can start by scanning these QR codes. And on the left, you can see the MuleSoft community on LinkedIn. You can scan that QR code and be a part of that MuleSoft community. We have more than 20,000 people already associated with this community. And it's a fun place to be with. And then, of course, you can join the local MuleSoft Meetup group. Please join the Jaipur Meetup group and also the Montreal Meetup group. We are hosting multiple sessions every month, so please feel free to join any of the sessions. And then we have specific product knowledge sharing trailheads. So for MuleSoft Composer, we on the left, as you can see, you can join the MuleSoft Composer community on Trailhead. And if you want to get started with MuleSoft MuleSoft Composer Trail, you can scan the code on the right. And if you want to learn more about RPA, you can move forward. Yeah. If you want to learn more about RPA, you can scan the QR code on the left, and it will basically ask you to be on Trailhead. And if you want to get started with the MuleSoft RPA Trail, you can scan the code on the right. And last but not least, if you want to upskill with MuleSoft, you can apply to become a MuleSoft mentor. We highly recommend you guys do that by scanning the code on the left. And if you want to do certifications, you can scan the code and start your MuleSoft journey on the right.
So this brings us to the end of our presentation. We would like all of you, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate and ask them. And we really appreciate the audience today. But before that, we'll give you a moment to connect with us on LinkedIn. If you do not have any questions today or you have any questions later about anything, you can always connect with us on LinkedIn, and we are very happy to help you there.
Thank you so much, guys. Any questions, anyone? Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Shubham and Smith, for sharing the deep insight about the MuleSoft community. And as they both mentioned, please join the MuleSoft community groups and the pages on the LinkedIn. And please encourage others to join the MuleSoft community. We usually have to we are planning to have more sessions in for the Jaipur community in MuleSoft Jaipur community. So please